Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. How are you doing out there? Well, I'm here in Mongolia. It's been raining like cats and dogs the past few days. It's been flooding. Haven't had much time to shoot. Hanging out with family kind of limits my time to record. We got kids running around, so things have been kind of hectic. I just wanted to give you guys a good catch up on what's been happening. It's not like I've been neglecting anything. I wanted to make some videos. I have some stuff in the queue. It's just finding the time to do the work has been kind of rough. Nadam, which is Mongolia's national holiday, is upon us, and everyone's been kind of preparing for that, for the getaway to get out to the countryside. I do have some stuff when I went out to Erdenet that I want to produce and put out as well. But I'm also thinking I may incorporate some of that into my Z8 final review video. I am working on that still. I keep changing things up as I discover new things with the camera. You keep seeing me talk about this in videos that it's coming, it's coming. I keep changing things. I want to give you guys a pretty good presentation. And if you remember, what I said is I wanted to also tweak my videos to talk to my travel folks as well as my camera and tech gear people. Yeah, I'm easy to talk about tech because, you know, this is my background, where I come from. I work as a computer technician for years. I've been into cars and all these things. And when I started doing travel, you know, I kind of got off track with, you know, what my whole plan was. Yes, it's to retire and find some place to live, but I haven't been doing much of that. But I also want to talk about some of that as well, now that I have a few more places under my belt. So today's video is just really a catch-up and a thought dump, so to speak. There's some things I've been thinking about, and it's funny how they say, you know, great minds think alike. I just saw Vahagan's video, and I was talking about that the other day about, you know, what could Nikon do as far as a new camera they could come out with. When we were on a Selective Imagery Jeff Level's live stream, we were talking about, you know, what else could Nikon come out with? What is that other mystery camera that Nikon could put out after the Z8? And possibly it may not be a Z6 III. You know, we're looking at timelines. When is this camera going to come out? Based upon, you know, what we've seen with the past Z6, Z7 releases. Do we expect that sometime in the summer, or was there some other mystery camera coming? We don't really know about it just yet. But watching Vahagan's video and hear him saying they should put out a last of its kind DSLR. And that got me thinking, before I even finished the video, my mind was just going all over the place. I'm like, dang. And I remember when the DF came out, that was an awesome camera. And I really loved that camera. It was the type of camera that when you want to shoot photography, you want to slow down, you can just click it in manual mode and use all your switches. Beautiful. It was a great thing. I loved that camera. The thing that I also said I wish they have done was make it a video focused camera. So thinking about what Vahagan is saying, I'm like, you know, my A7R5 that I was using, it had all the switches up top, kind of like the DF. Not exactly in the same place, or, you know, it's a totally different type of camera, but you had those tactile things, you know, your EVF button is there, sorry, EVF switch is there, and you have your, you know, your front dial, your rear dial, all of that stuff. And I remember when I was in Malaysia hanging out with John, we went to a Fuji event, and I was looking at GFX. I'm like, oh my Lord, I like this camera. This is before the Z8 came out, right? Back in March. And I was like, 50 megapixels and 100 megapixels? That's pretty sweet. That's a really nice camera. Of course, it's a medium format or semi-medium format camera. Well, large format. Let's just call it large format so we don't offend anyone. And the image quality from the camera is pretty darn good. I like the feel of it. It was beefy. It's kind of like the Z8 that I have now. But I've been thinking, it's like, can you imagine if we have like a DF again that, you know, or something along the lines of the DF that comes out with around 50 megapixels. I don't think we really need 100 megapixels, because then now, you know, we know that after a certain megapixels, you're talking about diffraction issues and so on. And while the Z8 does, and the Z9 has diffraction compensation inside of it, I think as we go higher along, you may run into some issues. So if they could stick with 50 megapixels is my thought process. So let's think of this for a second. 50 megapixels in a last of its kind DSLR camera. Okay? If you're gonna make it for something that you can satisfy your low light fans, your video fans, and your landscape studio, I think 50 megapixel with that sweet point, it can do everything for everyone. Okay? Low ISO, well, high ISO performance for low noise. And if you want to go to 6432 ISO for those really bright sunshine outside, yeah. If you're going to keep the EVF, why not? Sorry, OVF. If they did an EVF, I think that would be kind of something new, like a hybrid DSLR. And we already have, you know, Z cameras. I don't think I should do that. But if you're going to do a last of its kind, do you put a stack sensor in it? That's a whole other thing, right? But my mind also started thinking, if you are going to incorporate video in it, like they did in a D850, you have to make it better. So what could you do? Enjoying the content? Love what you've seen so far? Find the information useful? Okay, wonderful. Now, next question. Are you subscribed? No? Oh, go on. Get subscribed. A lot of you watching are subscribed, but most of you are not. So while the channel is growing, I'd like to count on your support to help me to grow even more. So if you're coming back and watching the video, or if this is your first time, hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. All right, not going to take up any more of your time. Let's get back to the video. You can have some kind of in-body image stabilization, but at the same time, if you make a last of its kind or an upgraded version, 24-120, that's the lens that comes with this camera. Now, f4, so people are like, no, we need something better. But you're trying to appease the video folks and the photo folks at the same time. If you could put something together, if it says at 2.8 to f4, 24-120, the lens is not too heavy, you have vibration reduction built into it. You know, I think that's like we put all our resources, well, that we're not taking away from the Z line, to build this lens, this last of its kind lens to go with this last of a kind camera. And this kit is going to be like, this is it for DSLR, we're sending off with a bang, you know, anniversary edition, whatever you want to call it. Okay, you have a great camera that can give all of us old school photographers, and I'm sure some of the younger generation will probably flock to it as well, if it can do video at the same time. But you have this camera that gives you full manual functionality. If it's at 50 megapixels and the dynamic range, micro contrast, all of that is on par and close to what you will get out like the Fuji GFX system and some of the Hasselblad cameras or Leica cameras. Yeah, but then I started thinking, price point, where would that end up? It would have to be a camera that Nikon, if they put a lot of resources in it, they'd have to make their money back, right? So if the price is someplace where they can say, this camera will make us some money at the same time, but it will be our last of a kind camera that we're throwing the kitchen sink at. And I think if they did that, yes, those of us who are shooting mirrorless right now, I think a lot of us will still flock to it. There is something about a tactile feel. You know, those of us who came from the film days and you're turning your dials to dial and everything, that's something that we like. I don't think it should do a split prism. That's all really old school. We're way past that. But, you know, when you think about all the old school things that you could put in this camera to kind of give that nostalgic feeling, there are a lot of things that come to mind. But do we really want to go down that path? Would Nikon really even do anything like that? I don't know. But it got me excited and thinking about, could I do something like that? This mystery camera that we're hearing about. So that's one of my thought processes as far as what's coming out. But then, you know, on the other side of things, now that I'm doing more videos, it's, should they do a box camera? Or not a box camera, but something along the lines of maybe the FX3, FX30, not that small. You still have to have the Nikon feel to it, Nikon ergonomics. You still have to have the Nikon flavor on whatever this camera is. So I'm hoping that they will come out with something like that. You know, I said in one of my other videos, I'd be kind of bummed if they did come out with something like that. And, you know, Now that I have the Z8, I probably would have waited for the camera. But I'll tell you this. While I like the FX30 for what it does, there's one big thing about that kind of annoys me. And that is if I put it in the cinematic mode to use it just like a normal vlogging camera out there, the colors don't always come out great. And that's the one thing that I really loved about the A7R5, is that this camera's white balance system was like really freaking awesome. It was like Nikon camera kind of look when you utilize it. And if you watch my videos, I did a bunch of them in Hong Kong and when I was in Kuala Lumpur, I'll tell you this, go back and look at my Sony A7R5 footage. I have videos out there. I know a lot of you guys watch my videos. I'm Nikon guys, some of you are Sony guys, but I want you to go back and take a look at some of that stuff that's from the A7R5 and then let me know what you think. So coming back, if Nikon would do something like that FX30, I would put the FX30 out to pasture. I would definitely want something with some kind of audio handler, something along those lines that I can use with it. Flip screen would be fine. Even if they don't know audio handle on the camera is slightly bigger, but it has to have a flip screen. And I say slightly, maybe not the size of the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K, 6K cameras, but I would like a bigger screen for sure. And some kind of built-in audio on the side of it. You know, we already have HDMI, full size is great. If they could find a way to basically put these other features inside of this camera to make it a really good video camera, I would love it. I really don't want like a C200 from Canon or anything on the big side, but I figure maybe they would do something along those lines to satisfy the pro guys, because Nikon has to make some money back first, right? So you do all this research and development, you put this great camera out, but then you're not selling the price point that's gonna earn you all that money back. So I understand from a business perspective, if they have to make something on a C200, something along those lines, FX6 type camera, to get the people who are spending the $8,000 to $12,000 on a cinema body. But I think today the price point of that is still gonna come down, or it is actually coming down. Because let's be honest, Sony and Canon cameras cost way more than Nikon today. But I think the Nikon quality is better than those cameras. The Z8, the Z9, you're talking about doing RAW internally. The other guys can't do it, okay? So that's something in my mind that if they put out another, if it's a FX30 size camera, and I keep saying FX30, Canon R5C type body, that, you know, something in those lines that really has all those ports and stuff that cinema guys want. Or if they go to the next level, FX6, C200, C500 camera, yeah, those are pricey, but I think Nikon would still be able to price it underneath those guys if now they add a fan to it and make it be able to run for a long period of time. So that's my thought process. You know, I've been thinking about what else I could do while I'm not shooting or doing much and kind of playing around with the kids and walking around town and, you know, seeing people out there with cameras. And I'll say this, here in Mongolia, people are shooting with, on this film, the D200. I was surprised. You know, the folks with the tourist area trying to sell you photos and so on. Hey, take a picture, you know, here's a photo. D200. Still out there, guys, still out there shooting. DSLRs are still around and in good use. But I also come across a film crew that was shooting the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema. I think it was 4K, not the 6K camera. And I was like, wow, okay, so somebody splurged on that. You know, here in Mongolia, they're making their own movies as well. Well, from what I'm seeing, it's a lot of soap operas. So everybody's getting into the business. It doesn't have to be big filmmakers to make these videos or film. And if you can use a camera that can get the work done, why not? The Z8, Z9 is really in that price point already. So as far as being able to do film and it costs less than what the big boys are doing, yeah, we have a great camera. We are at Amazon Prime Day sale, or at a Prime Week. So a lot of things are coming on sale. I was looking online and there's a bunch of things right now that seem to be on sale. And I see a bunch of things like camera lenses. I've been seeing not so much bodies, but more lenses that are out there on the Sony side, the Nikon side, and a couple on the Canon side. So guys, I have not been promoting my Amazon business as I should. and there are links in my videos. If you guys are watching my videos, you see the links. If you want to buy something, please support the channel by clicking on one of those links and make a purchase through there. It really helps me out. It really helps the channel out. I would say that it should help the channel out. I haven't actually made any money from Amazon just yet, but that's my fault because I have not been advertising it. But I want to be active now and promote and say, hey, the links are there, guys. Check them out. In the description area, look at the links. There's something that you want to purchase. Click on the link and buy it. And since we're here at Prime Week, yeah, definitely use my links. Go out there, purchase some camera gear, and let's go out and shoot and make photos and great videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great week.